What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Um, we are just gonna probably jump in here. I've been thinking of like other decks I wanted to feature on the channel, and I thought I was gonna throw up in a Johnny deck. I keep running into only like the big Domri deck. That I'm hoping to throw on here as soon as I can craft the cards, or like maybe a version of it. Um, so I did want to play like a mid range deck because I just think that mid range is kind of back now. The Grim Reaper, going to X, the old Jace has really opened things up. And Johnny just has not felt good, at least into the matchups that I've been getting. But I thought I would throw something up in a deck and a Planeswalker I've not played in a very long time. So we're gonna see, how it all pans out. But this is a list that I kind of threw together. I've been looking at other people in the Vraska for the MTG Spellslingers Discord and seeing what they're running. I do think Tasting Morsel becoming a 2-1, although it loses I think it was +2/+2, kind of makes it like an interesting way to pressure early. And they took some power away from Vraska's Grub, making it a 2-drop instead of a 1 mana 2/2. But still think it's pretty reasonable. So the core, I would say, of any Vraska deck in the early game is Cocoon, which just gives you random 1-cost creatures when it dies. Tasty Morsel, Vraska Throne, which I've always kind of said this about Vraska. The deck is on I feel like a different tier when you have Vraska's Throne. You're getting a finale creature and you're destroying one of yours and getting a bunch of buffs. The card advantage is really crazy. So you really want to start with this. Merchant of Death, Scorpion have kind of always been auto includes. Drawing 2 cards if they block it on your turn, drawing 1 card, getting that kind of grinding games out. Same with Infectious Scorpion. A fun combo when you kill this and get the Doom and Enemy creature spell is off of Vraska's Throne, you can hit the 1/3 for 2 that stuns something. And a nice combo, because usually if you play with this card, you Doom their enemy creature, they're like, okay, well, this is dying anyway, so I'm going to attack with it. And sometimes if you're behind, your removal spell ends up kind of being like, yes, it forces them to attack, but you having to trade a creature into that is not ideal. So when you get that random thing off the Vraska's Throne, you get to stun it and Doom it. So it's basically 2 mana. It can't do anything for a turn, and it dies at end of turn. Tarmogoyf, obviously just a good value creature. You're running artifacts, creatures, spells, all that good stuff. Shambler, I think, has just always been solid. 2 mana 3/3, great stance. Gives your creature, gives a random creature +1/+1 in your hand. Grotesque, just another way to sack things. Big body on turn 3. Wurm's Wake, I feel like this slot can be changed, but I think at the moment, like, making a 3 mana 5/5 is pretty good. I think in some metas it doesn't matter, but also you can play around, Day of Judgment, other sweepers, and I think that's always, good to have that versatility. Krav, I think, has always been pretty strong. It's just another way to quote-unquote sack a creature with Finale, and it's 7/7 trample for 4 mana. Steed was a new addition with the new set. This thing just really, it can win mid-range matchups, control matchups. When you make them discard 2 cards randomly, by sacking it, it's a huge game. I think they probably don't like making a ton of cards that discard, because that is a mechanic I think generally people feel bad about. But they let this through, and it just often is like an efficient blocker that can also have a lot of upside. Gluttonous Goo, I think it's just, often you're able to sack something and enable it, so you're just often getting a 7/7 ward for 4 mana. Again, just like very efficient, kind of big creatures. Turn to Stone, one of the best removal spells in the game, works around Relentless. If they have full creatures on their board, it'll just straight up, like, you would take it, I think, if you have full creatures, it destroys it. It's just one of the best removal spells, and definitely interacting is important. So I skipped over a very important card, Grudge Match. A lot of the way decks are getting tempo and getting ahead is in the early turns. And being able to have a Grudge Match for early interaction, I think is the best things that green decks can be doing. I do think the 2/4 reach for 2, could be an include in here. But I think just all these creatures have much more kind of card advantage. And then Kothophed, or Koth, as I just call it for short, I think, is just, one of the best 6-drops you can be playing. Just having the modality to do what you need it to do, and it's just a big dumb flyer. I actually had a game earlier where I was playing against OTK Nissa, which seems like a fun deck. I do want to try it at some point. And I just made this. It had already been buffed in my hand, and I made it a 14/14 flyer, and even though they were at like 30 life, they were just like, alright, well, I don't have an answer for that, so I'm going to concede. So it's just again, really efficient kind of modal creature, and that's really just the whole deck. And then the last mention is Woodland Hermitage. Starting turn 6, you have a chance to draw a creature instead of getting a mana gem. Normally if you were building Vraska bigger, that would be a problem, but this is your 1/6 drop. So odds are, by turn 5, you're not really worried about hitting your 6th mana, worst case scenario. And I do think Hermitage gives this deck a little bit of the edge that it needs to, really outmuscle the mid-range matchups. I think it's got a pretty solid matchup into aggro. Control, I think, it just really comes down to gameplay. And just, when you're interacting and how you're pressuring and how you're recovering from sweepers. I think we're good to go. So let's hit it up. We definitely lost some points for playing a Johnny, and then started to win a little bit with Vraska. I've just seen a ton of Domri in the Mythic ladder right now. I guess that's maybe one of the more popular aggro mid-range options. I do love the builds that have the werewolves and Craterhoof Behemoth, which is just such a fun card, and Lava Wave. I think those are pretty crazy ways to close the door, but it's a great chance to talk about. I still think Ral is just one of the most consistent and powerful decks. Oh, I haven't seen it running this land though. This should be interesting. Okay, well, we definitely want to curve out. Don't think we want another Scorpion. Having one, I think, is powerful. So I'll probably just ship that one Scorpion back. Doom against them is pretty annoying, just because their creatures tend to be kind of like big, and they don't have a ton of creatures usually. So being able to doom one of their creatures is usually a pretty optimal trade. Okay. So this might be... I wonder what they're going to be playing. Well, Delver is definitely a deck choice that folks are making. I haven't really tried it much, but I do think it has a lot of potential. So how do we want to match this? I do think we want to play a 2-drop just to be up, kind of up on tempo. So Grub gets hit by Shock. Guess that's a good enough reason to play Scorpion first. And the other thing is, they flipped it. Dang. Vraska's Throne, maybe getting 2 Doom spells next turn might be relevant. Like, if they go Thing in the Ice here, I think I probably will do that. Okay, it looks like Anticipate, maybe? Good old Anticipate. Huh. Alright, well, there's our Grudge match. I don't think we need to do it yet. I think we would rather have it on something else. Right now, we're not necessarily behind on board. We could play the Grub, and then next turn maybe Throne and match. I really want to be able to answer Mizzium Monstrosity or Thing in the Ice, so... Just get our free 2 damage, play our Grub, pass the turn... And then next turn, I think we just probably have to grudge match something depending on how they play it, or maybe we can get away with the Wurm's Wake. But I'd be surprised if we're not answering something. Yep. Okay, well, that's excellent that they weren't able to buff it. Alright, so we don't want a 2-for-1 ourselves, so it's pretty easy. Grudge match here. And I think here we're just going to crack with both. And then the question is, am I going to sack one to Vraska's Throne? Because I might want to fight next turn. Okay, they took both. Okay, alright. So I think in that case, definitely playing Throne. And from this position, I think it just makes more sense to sack the Scorpion, get Double Doom. Although they can play around it. So maybe it's more worth to ramp. Because the next turn we go to 6 and we can go Steed Grudge Match. Maybe that is better. Okay. I think we're going to do that. Interesting. Okay. I think we're probably going to go for the cheap finale creature here. I don't think we need another Scorpion. Ilharg is cool, but I just... Even with the ramp, like... Don't know how relevant that's going to be. Yeah, I think we'll go for this. Again, like I could grudge match here, but that's not the creature I care about. Alright, so I don't hate our spot. I think we're okay. Got it. Trim up support. Donation. Alright. It's a lot of cards for sure. But I'm still kind of glad I'm not getting like really beaten down. Oh, love it. Cocoon is just such a good card to sack to Throne. Okay, so if I play Chemist, I don't think I care if they block. So I think we're just going to do this. Put down some pressure. Would not be surprised if they take 7 here. Also wouldn't be surprised if they need to trade. But then we get 2 spells. So it really depends on what they have on their hand. I imagine a version that's running Crags is probably not running Pyroclasm. I'd be pretty surprised by that. Yeah. Makes sense that they're thinking. I mean, I think they have a ton to do next turn, but at least we're hopefully not getting really beaten down. I think also being able to sack the Cocoon. Okay. Oh. Strange. Okay, so we got Revival. Summon the strongest creature in your opponent's graveyard. Interesting. Alright. I think this is a pretty easy sack here. Again, staying ahead on tempo. I think I just want the most efficient body. I mean, Detonator is obviously big, but I don't really want to take... Well, for having Grudge Match, it actually might be really helpful. But again, taking 4... I think it's close. But I think I'll take the Shambler. And then we'll just end the turn here. Ooh. Well, Venom Archer might be really relevant if they have Arcane Flight in their deck. Okay, so they got Crags. Okay, Pyromancer. Huh, so I wonder if this deck is maybe not running Thing in the Ice, and it's just running, like, Crag and Pyromancer. I could see that. Well, we're definitely going to try and Grudge Match next turn on the Pyromancer. Okay, so they're going to attack with everything. We definitely want to save our life total, and we're definitely killing this. And I can still beat down with this. I think where we are now, it's fine to just keep our life total pretty high. Take 2. Okay. I wonder if they block. if I attack. It's interesting. I mean, I think we just do this. The Doom, the Fatal Infections are not super relevant in our hand, but I think that's okay. So we have a choice. We could go Worm's Wake, but I'm a little worried since they're running. What is the name of this card? Well, the Pyromaster guy. I think we want to play double 2-drop, probably. So I think we'll do that. Use our mana gem. I mean, they've got a lot more gas in the tank here. I don't feel great about where we are. Okay, there's the thing in the ice. So we'll Fatal Infection and hope to not take a ton of damage from it. The more I'm thinking about this already, the more I would rather this be the 3/3 reach that gains you 3 life, rather than a 5/5 body. I think the life in that... Okay, that's... Alright, so... this is interesting. So we can Revival, and then Infection this and pump our Mizium monstrosity. But also... Tarmogoyf is pretty good here. And we could go Worm's Wake, Tarmogoyf, Fatal Infection. That's got to be better. So I think let's get our free attack in here. Right. And then I think... Yeah, I think this makes the most sense. They're going to know what this is. You know, but if we get to, you know, not somehow lose this turn, which it's Ral, it's definitely possible, and then smack them back with a 5/5, pretty good. So if they have Arcane Flight, this thing could definitely get us for at least 6. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably going to be the turn that defines if we're able to kind of close things out. Okay, Spark, yep. Shock, okay, yep. On summon, oh boy. Stun, yep. That's minimum 6. They go Pyromancer, Spell, am I dead? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no. But I'm basically dead. It's too bad we didn't hit removal spells off the 4/2, but can't have it all. Really can't. This is interesting. I mean, I really have not thought to play this card. Oh boy. We're at 1. So they're probably getting us for at least... Okay, Amberling, take 7, go to 6. Yeah. All they have to do is have a Chain Lightning. I don't think we can close things out. So if they take 5, I mean, we've got Lava Axe, but that's just not going to do it. We don't have a way to sack Steed, which might have been good. Yeah. Imagine they take 5 here. Or if they've got the lightning, they might just block because they should win. Okay, 7. So we got to just put the most toughness on the board. That, I think, has to be the plan. Tarmogoyf. And then I guess we can Grotesque sack Scorpion. I guess that makes the most sense. 6. Or if I add If I play Steed, that's 8 toughness instead of 6. Yeah, so I guess that's technically better. And it's one more creature that can't get stunned. So kind of have to imagine we're dead here. But close match. I think if maybe we hit like turn to stone at the right turn, we probably won this. But yeah, I mean, if this was the 3/3 gain some life, I wonder, like, we might have been able to play this, sack it, gain 6. I mean, with Ral in the meta, gaining life is pretty powerful. So I think if we're going to see this more, I already feel like Wurm just doesn't really matter. 6 damage to an enemy creature. Oh, interesting. I have not seen this. Huh. That could definitely be good. Reckless Strike. Okay. Okay, well, if that's all we got, pretty happy about that. And that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah. Wow. They did not have the lightning. That's incredibly lucky. I mean, they're also probably thinking they can live this turn, but we just have a random lava axe off of the spell. So yeah, I mean, they have to block both. They take 2. They go to 5. Yep. They might even argue that they should go to 1 here and keep their monstrosity, which I think is fair. But our sneaky little lightning axe off of the finale spell creature. Yeah. Oh, I get it. I guess I'm not going to say good game because we haven't talked. Might feel BM. Alright, GG. Wow. I'm honestly so surprised that we didn't just die there. But so they were running Thing in the Ice. I was going to be very surprised if they weren't. Although I think playing Delver, even though you don't have a ton to do on turn 1 in the deck, Delver, Pyromancer, Thing, and Mizium. I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly the way I would go. But alright, on to the next. That was such a good game. I'm going to keep playing with the worms in, but I'm already feeling like I'd rather have a 3/3 end life. Okay. Alright. I'll take the match again. I mean, it's good. It's good practice. I do think Ral is an incredibly good deck. So I guess we'll call this how to battle Ral or something. Let's see where that goes. Okay, Morsel's good. I think Grotesque is honestly not that great in the matchup, just because they have Unsummon. But I still think this is probably a better curve. Okay, double Morsel. Not ideal, but got stuff to do early. That is important. Delver. I do think Delver probably makes the most sense for building Ral, because turn 1 you don't you just don't have stuff to do. So I think that okay, nice. I was like, please don't hit. Yeah, and the only reason I've been running the other stuff is just because I find it to be consistent, and I don't really want to give up the spell slots, but I think Delver is solid. Okay, so what's the most efficient turn here is the question. We're definitely attacking. Sure, they're not blocking. We can hang on to the mana gem, which now that we have Kothophed, that's probably a good idea. We can keep pressuring with Shambler. I think that's probably the play. But I really hope we can draw some some interaction. I mean, maybe even Blindside is good in this deck on 3 mana. I've been kind of feeling like that card is important for the green decks, like to run 2 Grudge matches and 2 Blindsides. Specifically to be able to interact with Ral, because if you take out, you know, some of their really important spell creatures like Thing and Mizzene Monstrosity, you know, you have, I think your win rate in that matchup goes up a lot. Okay, can we get a Grudge match? I would like. Not that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, pretty easy attack here. I'm sure they take 5. Now, how do we pressure the most possible? Is it just we play Morsel, sack Morsel to Grotesque? Like, probably? No. Probably would have preferred. Oh, okay. 1 went on Koth. That's nice. And then next turn, and the reason I'm kind of thinking about using the mana gem there is like next turn we still have a very efficient turn with double 2-drop. So we'll see. Alright, well, it's likely they can get their 3 spells and passive and attack with everything. A thing. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. Question is that do they have another 1-drop or 0 spell to go off this turn? That would be pretty good. Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, we definitely have to preserve our life total. Take 4 here. This is going to be tough. Scorpion. Alright. Not much to think about. I don't even think we can afford to attack. Well, it's close. It's definitely close. Because then we can block, but then we have 1 less blocker. Actually, I think I like this. I think they'll probably just take 3 anyway. But if they block here, I think it's okay. Because we get some damage on them, potentially block them. Okay. Interesting, make a good double Scorpion, but I guess it's still probably better to play Merchant. Yeah, I don't like our chances for this one. But we'll see. I mean, if all they do is kind of like deal some damage to us, well, that's pretty good. Yeah. Man, we need a Grudge match yesterday. But, oh god, that's brutal. Yeah. Alright, well, first things first. Guess it makes sense to block here. Okay, Throne is definitely good. Don't love blocking this way, but again, we just have to preserve our life total as much as possible. We can't play Koth next turn. Oh, we actually knew they had the Flame. Maybe it was better not to block. Jeez, this is quite the predicament. So even if we attack, it just fully heals, doesn't do anything. Again, I don't think they would block, but maybe they would. They might think I'm running Drain. the 2-mana drain spell. Okay. Question is, do I sack this? I guess. But then I need more blockers for the Pyromancer. Oh god, this is really... Yeah, I don't think I can actually sack it. If I play this, I could potentially get abraded. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Oh, Delver doing work for sure. So if they crack with everything, the 2 Emberlings, we're going to take minimum 6 plus 1 from the passive, which would be 7. So, have to imagine we're dead here. Or basically dead. Oh, yeah, on summon as well would do it. Yeah, Relentless Strike is interesting. I guess it is obviously random, and so sometimes it can really not be that great, but 6 damage to a random enemy? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. You got it. Wonder if maybe that's just kind of a meta call, and if you're playing it to stuff that scales up pretty quickly, which I think some of Domri's stuff does, that Reckless Strike is probably better than, like, Divination, for example. Alright, I'm going to give this 1 minute, or like a couple seconds, just to see if we can match into someone else. But it's okay. If these are just RAL games, we'll take it, Because the queues have been long. I guess there aren't maybe like a ton of players playing right now. So I mean, of the green mid-range decks, I think Vraska is interesting. I don't know. Oh, cool. Played this person earlier. I don't know. I don't know what Vraska's place is in the meta, but I think it's always like a reasonable mid-range option, and I think there are ways of tuning the deck, which can be pretty good. Alright, definitely keeping these, just to survive the early game. Okay. Drew the Goo back. Yeah, so this is Big Domri with Gaia's Cradle. See how that matchup goes. I think it's pretty good. I really like the way that the deck synergizes to just like really seamlessly ramp and pressure at the same time, because you don't have to worry about, you know, a lot of other things. Okay, so this is maybe Wurm coming down. That's a little scary. If I get our attack in. So if it is Wurm, definitely annoying, but I probably want to save my mana gem. So I think I'll just play the Scorpion here. Okay, they just did nothing. Interesting. Happy about that, kinda. Probably just means they have all their Creator of Behemoths and Lava Waves. Yeah, this, just being able to play this, get a temporary mana gem, and then flip to get a fragile mana gem. So they're going to be on 7 on turn 5. I guess that's not like... Or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so... Okay, well, I don't think we're grudge matching here. I don't love trading my Scorpion, but I still think it's probably fine. Okay. Makes sense. I think again I'm going to try and hold on to the Mana Gem. Just put out some blockers. Turn on 7, so next turn they can play Crater Hoof or Lava Wave. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to overcome that. So if they attack, probably going to snap block with, I guess, Morsel. They play Ulrich here, which would be pretty good. They just get to flip it. There's nothing I could do. I can fight it next turn, which would be pretty decent. Daybreak Ranger, yeah, so they're going to get to kill that and flip. It's honestly not the end of the world. Man, if we had our sack outlet, that would be really good. I will say I really am not a huge fan of how this deck can be really inconsistent in terms of sometimes you have these draws. I don't know how often that is, but it's definitely going to make this game a lot harder for us. Okay. What are we doing is the question. This is interesting. So I could grudge match these two and play Goo, and then we get 2 more 2-drops. I don't hate that. And I think I'm down to just get in. Okay. This is kind of a weird line, but I think it makes sense. We're going to get 2 free creatures. Oh, why did I think... Oh, I totally misjudged the mana. I thought I would be able to play Goo off of that. No. Okay, well in that case, could play Tarmogoyf. I could just play another Morsel. Miss out on 1 mana. I think that's okay. Delver, no. It's not very likely that we flip you. Okay, so if they go Crater Hoof, it's gonna be tough. If they go Lava Wave, I guess at least we get these death triggers. But we take 6 and then another 5. Okay, that's good. Ulrich, okay. Yeah, this makes sense. I think we do have to block here to make sure that we're going to doom it. I guess we want to keep the tasty morsel value, so we'll block with Scout. Block here. Dang, and they get to flip and upgrade all their board. Ugh. This is brutal. Definitely brutal. This list really feels like probably the best mid-range deck. Just the interactions between the mana ramping and it just feels really, it looks really good at the very least. Attacking actually doesn't get me a whole lot. So I guess it's going to be Doom. I think I'm down to go Steed and Cocoon. There's the lava wave. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a way to interact with that. Oh goodness. What can we even really do? I mean, obviously we play ooze. I guess we just throw down our Tarmogoyf now. Grudge match. Yeah. At least it's a 2-for-1 for me. It's not the worst thing. Agitator, yep. Okay. Taking 2. Get to flip. And start with. Alright. Okay. Alright, that's definitely helpful. Grotesque, probably just need to sack the 1-2. Okay, well, let's get in, try and trade for a creature. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. Taking 2 no matter what. I'm taking, so probably taking minimum 6 this turn. So if they have anything, any interaction or any big spell, we're obviously dead. Okay, it's a good sign. I mean, if they just drew a creature, it's probably worth just going in here, right? Even though you don't have the best attacks, you're just keeping a card in your hand. Okay. Alright, well, we pretty much almost have to grudge match this. So the question is, would I rather grudge match here? This still doesn't really allow this to attack because they can block with Tarmogoyf. Yes, I think we just go here. They've got to at least block here, so that's the good news. Yep, that makes the most sense. It's like the most worthless creature. I mean, they could take 6 here, go to 1. Yeah, that's a reasonable play. So, I guess the best line, from what I can see, is grudge match here. Could grudge match here, but I guess I'd rather pump the power of this. Oh, Wurm's Wake. I was really hoping it was just a creature sitting in their hand. Oh, yep, okay. GG. Oh, that's the wrong one, but... Alright, close game. Yeah, I mean, this has been a very educational video for me as well, because I feel like this build of the Omri just has some really... Talk about explosive draws, too. I think it's really something else here. Seems like people have figured out how to build it and could see it being pretty effective. Alright, let's maybe go for one more game, see what we hit. See if we can rattle off one more win. Okay, cool. Nissa. We'll see about this matchup. Okay, love the throne. It's definitely just throwing back these, hoping we hit. Nice. Nice. Okay. Tarmogoyf's not the best card to start with your opening hand, but definitely Vraska's Throne and Morsel are pretty good. So we'll see. I don't love this matchup because of the one turn kill. But you know, we were able to get there actually before we started recording, so we'll see how it goes. That is annoying. Huh. So the question is, would I rather Grudge match here, or would I rather play like Merchant of Death and Grudge match? And I think the answer is that. So let's. Well, does attacking here accomplish a lot? Means that we would trade. I could save my Grudge match. I think I probably just take the 4 here, fight these next turn. Okay, so the tree is good against Ral to some degree, and I think it's also good against this deck because it's a reach creature to deal with Strahd when it comes in. Okay, well, I think this is just the move. So we get to draw 2. And get in here. I'm not going to sack this because I'm definitely down to block. Yep. Can also run out Grotesque next turn, but we're also going to have 4. We can run out double Tarmogoyf. Sacking this is also pretty decent. I think it's fine to block here. Shambler got pumped. Okay, so actually maybe we'll run out Shambler and Tarmogoyf instead. Yep. Druid makes sense. Yeah, let's run you out. Let's run you out. It's a little awkward. We don't really have a use for the throne as of right now. Probably would not have run it out if our draws went this way. But if we get like this, the Steed, that can be really good. Just discarding random hands or cards from their hands. Yeah, it's a good Grudge match, all right. Yeah, I don't see any reason not to attack here. Okay, so we can play Ooze. I think the more efficient play is probably just... So we could go Grub, sack, play Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I think I like this, though. Oh, interesting. Ooze. While in hand, marks a creature in your graveyard. Each turn, finale, add a base copy of the creature card to your hand. Huh. Tarrasque they could kind of deal with. Huh. Although Tarrasque is kind of just a big thing they're gonna have to deal with. It's not coming down for a while, and I guess we have our turn 6 next turn. I think it's close, but my feeling is that Tarrasque is important here. Oh, so we can still play Goo and keep a gem. Yeah, I like that. I mean, Day of Judgment could come out next turn. Not really a ton that we can do about it. Okay. Well, only valid attack here. I mean, they added Primal Titan to the board, so I'm definitely going to add to the board. Don't really have a good sack target, although I could just take 6 off of Unredeemed, but I think I'm down to just play Tarrasque here. Oh, because I can Tarrasque and then sack for value next turn with Krav. I mean, I could do it this turn also. Kind of like that. Wait, what's this say? Always has Relentless. Yeah. Might as well just get the free card advantage. Okay, double Tarrasque. Okay. Jeez, that's pretty insane. The double draw champion as a chump blocker. Okay. I think we're actually probably going to have to save the turn to stone. Okay, so in that case, let's just make our attacks. Get to chump block this. Let's block that. That makes sense. I think the most efficient is probably just play out. Oh. Now if they have Wrath and I play Krav, it's going to feel real bad. So I think actually I'm okay with... and they have 9 mana next turn. Yeah. What is the best way to pressure? I guess it is playing Krav. And if they spend their turn Day of Judgmenting, might be able to get ahead on board. Yeah, I guess we just want to pressure as much as possible. Okay, there's the Brontosaurus. Makes sense. Double Cocoon, huh? Okay. Well, if we attack with everything, what happens? They block here. I guess potentially here. Yeah, I mean, I think we probably have to just Alpha Strike here. Don't really think we're gonna have a better line. Sucks to lose Krav potentially, but we just have to pressure. Because they have inevitability, so it's not really any way to play the game slowly. Okay. Well, if they've got it, they've got it. So we can go 1-4. Yeah, I guess that's probably best. Hope we hit like a flying blocker. It's probably our only line here. We did not hit. We do need 10 mana for it, but... Okay, so this should... I guess this will potentially be Day of Judgment, but... block here. Oh, Crusher Forms. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So if we turn to stone... Yeah, turn to stone is weird, because if we do turn to stone, they get the 2/2, which kind of negates the usefulness of turn to stone. Alright, so then in that case, I mean, we don't really have a choice again, so I think it's just going to be attack with everything but this. So what happens? I go block, maybe block, block, block. That's fine. This'll has the potential to come back anyway. Okay. Yep. Yep. Take 3. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, and there's basically nothing I can do. So, just gotta play Grotesque here. Alright, do you have it? Okay. Well. I'm honestly blocking because I also want the ability to play more creatures. Okay, we go to 6. Ranger. Pretty good. Interesting. Alright, so I mean at this point now it just feels like I should be turning to stoning that. They double block, they go to 3. And I probably will play Vraska's Throne and maybe I can hit something with Reach. Not sure. Could sack Cocoon, actually. Oh, okay. Well, I actually was going to think about that a little bit longer, but it's alright. Yeah, I don't think this matters necessarily. Let's do Steed. Oh, it doesn't have flying on our turn. Oh no. Oh, did they really not draw it? Is that why we're getting emoted? Right. Guess the double Tarrasque worked out? Question mark? Oh, they're still alive. They are still alive. Okay, I think I'm going to do this pre-combat because I'm interested to see if we can hit. And that would be the hit. Grim Echoes. What is that? Okay, right, I can't view it. Sorry. I do feel bad about that. You probably should have won with your draws. Wow. All right. Yeah, I don't think Vraska is it. That's kind of my. It just feels like Nissa and Domri are going way over the top. pretty, dynamic gameplay. So I mean, Vraska has. I don't know. I don't know. I think we maybe probably have to. My guess is go bigger, and be less concerned with, um, the early game, because usually you have to build her being able to kind of have like a good curve, but like maybe you just don't need like Morsel. So you like cut that. I think Worm's Wake is like meh, and you just put in some like crush of worms, and maybe you play your own Crater of Behemoth. Who knows? But anyway, 2-2. Not sure I'm feeling it, Vraska. Not sure you're powerful enough to really get there. But for the Vraska lovers, I think, or if you're just playing into a lot of like probably a Johnny, maybe some Domri deck list, maybe Sarah, not really sure. I mean, she just will always have good card advantage, the ability to, really just disrupt your opponent with a combination of different cards. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I always forget to say it at the beginning, but definitely please like and subscribe. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm and get things out there. And hoping to have some other content in the works for y'all this week. Yeah, just appreciate you coming by. Definitely comment. Let me know what you think of the deck. What other decks you've been really enjoying. It was great. Some other folks were commenting last time, and it's just awesome. I really like the community. I like the game. I love the game. Love the community, and just hope to keep the channel going and just hearing from folks like you. So, thanks for your time and your energy, and we'll catch you next time.